What's going on? It's Greggatron again. Got another video for y'all. This is going to be a continuation of the one from yesterday about why most relationships don't last or why they fail, whatever the topic was. So, what I went over yesterday, that's real stuff. But I found myself kind of rambling. But the main reason why most relationships don't survive is women want men to become something that they're not. And I'm not talking about as far as being like a provider and a protector and all that good stuff, because sometimes the roles will get intertwined and jacked up when it comes to that, but that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when a woman wants a man to be equally, if not more, emotional than she is. Now, this doesn't work because, ladies, we're not wired the same way you guys are. We're just not built like you guys. And it's like women know this. They know we're not the same, but for some reason, they wish that we were the same when it comes to that. So let me give you an example. It's like when a woman shows she loves a man, she'll say, "I love you" all the time, right? And call you baby, and she's like real affectionate and emotional and feminine and all that good stuff. And men, we love that about ladies, right? But women think that in order for a man to love her back, he has to do that same stuff. That's not true. She thinks that because she's so used to doing it to the man, but like I said, men are not wired the same as women. So as men, we know we love our woman, right? But the woman doesn't know that the man loves her because he's not constantly saying it. So there's like a joke or a meme or whatever you want to call it. It's like when your woman says, "How do I know you love me?" And then the man's just like, "Because I told you I do." But men, we don't say it all the time, right? And a lot of men are the same way with their kids. They're not all huggy and touchy-feely and emotional and all that stuff. The way a man shows he loves his woman, I was going to say his woman and kids, but let's keep this about the man and the woman. A man shows he loves her by providing for her and protecting her. To me, those are the two main ones, the two big ones. So if you're in a relationship or you're married or what have you, because a lot of people don't get married anymore. Let's just say, for the sake of the discussion, this is about marriage. Not that I've been married, because I haven't. But where was I going with that? Lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? So you can't expect a man to be so emotional towards you because we're just not wired the same. Oh, I was saying, so he's supposed to provide and protect. That's how he is showing you that he loves you. Not by texting you every 5 seconds. Not by... They got social media now. Like a lot of women, they'll hit their man up on social media, even when he's at work and whatnot. And if he doesn't respond, it's a big deal. Like, hey, he's at work. Let the man work. But yeah, that's the number one reason why relationships don't last, because women want men to be like them. But that's not going to happen. Like, I've heard some crazy stories, but they all boil down to the same thing. Like, I had a friend who I saw not too long ago. she divorced her husband because she said he worked too many hours. But I'm thinking, didn't you know how many hours he worked before you married him? But this goes back to women wanting men to be on their level emotionally. So because this guy's at work all the time, she wants more affection. But if he's not home that much, she can't get that affection. And to her, that was a problem. But in my mind, I'm like, but I work a lot of hours. And a lot of men I know work a lot of hours. So you're telling me that's a reason for divorce? Because men work a lot of hours? It's like, you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't. But she said, basically, I wanted him to be around me and the kids more, and we hardly ever saw him. But that's the sacrifice men have to make to provide for their families. I'm on his side when it comes to this because he's showing you he loves you by working 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, what have you. But in her mind, he doesn't love me because he's not home. Whereas in his mind, he does love her because he's at work. Does that make sense? She thinks he doesn't love her as much because he's never home. But that's the exact opposite of what he's probably thinking. He loves her that much more. That's why he's never home. I mean, just think about this, folks. Just think about it. But this happens a lot. Like, people get divorced and the woman says, well, we were just two different people. I want someone who I can talk to and just be emotional with, and you know how women talk. But a lot of men don't talk very much. You know what I'm saying? Men have never been big talkers. Like, a lot of men, they'll just get their point across. Like, even when we tell stories. Now, me personally, I tell the whole story. But a lot of men, when they tell a story, it's who, what, where, when, and why, and how. Whereas the woman will go into every detail, right? But men just aren't wired the same as women. So don't think that we don't love y'all because we're not telling you everything and cuddling and pillow talk and all that stuff. Some men just ain't into all that. It's kind of like, see, I'm going to take it there on y'all. It's kind of like sex. Like, when a woman has sex, it has to be, like, passionate, right? It's got to be, like, romantic. I mean, unless if she's, like, a hoe. But I'm talking about marriage here, so we'll keep it on that. It has to be, like, passionate and all that stuff, right? Whereas when a man has sex, all he has to do is... I'm going to try and keep it clean with y'all. Because I got kids watching. I got some older people watching too. But all the man's trying to do is finish. And that's it. And when it's done, he's just done. He's ready to roll over and go back to sleep. But after women have sex, they want to cuddle and do pillow talk and all that stuff. But the man, it's time to sleep at this point. We're just not the same, but there's nothing wrong with that. Like, women can be women and men can be men, and we can still coexist. We can still make this work. But ladies, just stop. Stop trying to make your man into something he's not. Because if you're with a super emotional man who's just like you, you're pretty much just dating a woman. And one of y'all has to be the kite and the other one has to be the line. You know, one of y'all has to keep the other one grounded. You don't want to be with the same exact person. Isn't that why they say opposites attract? Like, I know some women who talk a whole bunch, right? But their husband hardly talks at all. That goes back to opposites attract. But it's just some fruit for thought. That's all. Let me know what you think about this. All right, peace.